Hello everyone, I am Dr. Soundararaj. I am very happy to interact with you all through this video. In this video, I am going to detail a concept titled Factors Influencing the Selection of Distribution Channels. These are all a couple of details related to my career. After you watch the full video, if you find the video useful to you, give a like to the video and do subscribe my channel so that you get the notifications of my future videos. The factors influencing the selection of distribution channels may be classified as product characteristics, market characteristics, company considerations, and middlemen considerations. Let's get into the details of the product characteristics and how they influence the selection of distribution channels by companies. The first aspect to be considered under product characteristics is purchase frequency. The more frequently purchases are made for a product, the more feasible it is for a manufacturer to use direct distribution channel. The company could avoid the channel intermediaries to distribute the marketing offer which are bought frequently by the target consumers. The second point to be considered here is perishability of the marketing offer. If the marketing offer is perishable, it is advisable on the part of the marketer to have direct distribution of its marketing offer instead of depending upon many channel intermediaries. Through them, if the marketing offer which is perishable passes through, there is a possibility for the marketing offers to get perished in the middle of its journey from the point of production to the point of consumption. The third point to be considered here is weight and technicality. If the product which is marketed or distributed is huge in weight, or if it is having very high technical aspect, definitely it is advisable on the part of the marketer of such product or such marketing offer to have direct distribution of the marketing offer to the consumers. The next point is selling price per unit. If the selling price per unit is very low for your product, it is good to depend upon many levels of channel intermediaries. Through them, the product could be very well distributed to the target market. Standardized products are ordered products. It is very good to have many levels of channel intermediaries for distributing the products which are of standardized in nature. If the products are to be made in a customized way or to be manufactured based on the orders given by the consumers, definitely distribution of such customized products or ordered market offerings could be done directly by the marketers. Therefore, the product characteristics that are conducive to short channels are summarized here. For heterogeneous units, if every version of the product or every model of the product which you manufacture is going to cater for the needs of a small segment of the people, obviously the company can have short channels to distribute such products. Similarly, heavy weight, large in size with regard to the product, perishability, technically complicated, these products are the products which have these characteristics could be distributed through short channels. Whereas with regard to the other like homogeneity, lightweight, small in size, non-perishable and technically so simple, these products could be very well distributed through long channels. The second aspect to be considered here in selection of distribution channel is market characteristics. Consumer or industrial market. The products that are distributed targeting upon the end users in a market, or if your products are marketed as consumer products, obviously your company can depend upon longer channel to the extent required. Whereas with regard to industrial market, you can very well go for direct distribution of the product, or you can have a very short channel of distribution for your marketing offer. Number of purchases, if the number of purchases for your product is large, definitely you can have many levels of channel in the distribution of your product. Whereas if the number of purchases are very small or a few, you can go for direct distribution or you can depend upon a very shorter channel to the extent required. The next one is about geographical distribution. If you as a company or a marketer want to distribute your product in a wider geographical area, it is good to have as many level of channels to the extent required. Therefore, you can have longer channel if you want to really distribute your product in a geographical area that is very large in size. Whereas, if the geographical area to be covered through the distribution is smaller in terms of area, obviously you can go for direct distribution of your product, or you can depend upon a minimum number of channel intermediaries in between. Size of orders. If the size of orders is large, you get a few orders, but those orders for a large quantity of your product, good to go for either direct distribution of your product, or you can depend upon a very few channel intermediaries in between you and the consumers. Then the third set of considerations which will influence your selection of distribution channel for your products is company consideration. The first point to be discussed here is market standing or reputation of the company. A reputed company is blessed to eliminate the level of intermediaries. It enjoys a kind of reputation or a powerful standing in the market that really makes a company to go for direct distribution of its product. Whereas if the reputation is a bit moderate or low for the company in the market, it is good to depend upon powerful or reputed channel intermediaries who can very well promote your product or who can very well take away your product from the point of production to the point of consumption. Financial resources. If your company is blessed to have a good amount of financial resources, you can establish your own retail counters in all the localities of the target market area. Otherwise, it is good to depend upon the channel intermediaries who could come to support you financially in distributing your product. If the competency level and the experience of the management is really good, that will have high influence on the channel decision. If management of a company have proper knowledge and experience about the market, about the distribution, it may prefer to have direct selling. Firms whose management lack technical know-how or the latest knowledge about various aspects of the business, they can very well depend upon the channel intermediaries who can come to support the company for the distribution of its products. Volume of production is the next point of consideration under company considerations. Big firms, giant companies which have large output find it suitable to set up their own retail counters or retail outlets. But with companies having small outputs, they find it economical to distribute their products through the channel intermediaries. Desire for control of channel. If your company or you as a marketer want to exercise proper control on the distribution of your product, you better go for short channels or you better go for direct distribution of your product. And that's what about the idea behind this particular point. Services provided by manufacturers. When companies plan to sell directly to customers, they have to consider the after sale part, but when firms are not in the position to offer such services, they have to depend on middlemen. If you are very particular in offering a reliable and a good quality after sale service for your product, if the nature of your product demands for such good quality after sale service, it is obvious to go for depending a short channel of distribution, and that's what the recommendation here. The fourth set of considerations regarding selection of distribution channels is middlemen considerations. The first point to be discussed here is availability. In case you as a company find a good quality and capable distribution firms that are available in the target market, you better go for depending upon such intermediaries who will take care of the promotion and distribution of your product very effectively. Or else you have to really take care of the distribution of your product at your own. Then the next one is about attitude towards the company. If the middlemen have a very positive and a good attitude towards the company, which involves in manufacturing and marketing a particular product, or you find there is a good match between the objectives of the company and the objectives of the middlemen business enterprises, you can very well go for longer distribution channel for distributing your product. And the next one is about services. When the middlemen are found to provide services like financing, storage, promotion of the product in the target market, it is always better for a company to have the middlemen in the distribution chain. Otherwise, you can go for having a very short channel of distribution for your product, or else you can depend upon direct distribution of your product. The next one is about sales potential. Intermediaries with the proper sales potential are always required by firms, since that will ensure greater penetration of the product to the nook and corner of the target market. And that's what about the idea behind sales potential. And the next one is about cost of middlemen. Making use of middlemen could be decided based on the cost. This is an important point of consideration here. If the cost of middlemen or the profit margin expected by the middlemen is very high, it is good to avoid many level of channel intermediaries for your product, because they will take away the major portion of profit from selling your product, and the company will be left out with a meager profit margin, and this is going to be the pathetic situation. So if you find in other occasion the cost of middlemen is comparatively less, you can depend upon as many level of the channel intermediaries as required and make your channel a longer one. Legal constraints. In certain products, as per the government regulations, distributions could be made possible only through the licensed or selective outlets. Therefore, you are legally compelled to depend upon only the licensed or recognized outlets for distributing your product, if that is the nature of your product. Thanks for watching this video. I hope I have explained the concept in a way you can easily understand the concept. Bye for now, everyone.